No, oh, wrong thing. Okay. Hey guys. Mosquito bite. Why is there mosquitoes outside right now, bro? I see my shirt. Y'all follow me on any of my social medias. It's COPD Awareness Month. So we outside parlaying and whatnot. For my mama, this live is a tribute to my mama. Um, my mom, I would say, my mom had a lot of medical conditions. Like, you would think that it was either going to be the lung cancer or the brain cancer that would tragically claim her life. But no, it wasn't that. My mom fought that, beat that. Ultimately, it was the COPD that would be the cause of her death at the age of 57. She fought for a really long time with COPD, along with the seizures that she had. COPD doesn't start off rough. My mom, when she first got diagnosed with COPD, she was like any other person. She can still move around. She can walk, X, Y, and Z. My mom, you know, did it all. Walked up and down the block. People that actually know my mom and know what type of person she was. She had a larger than life personality. My mom was very funny. The COPD it wasn't bad in the beginning. I think it was mostly like the seizures that were the issue. The seizures, the minor strokes, the TIA strokes that she was having, were the main issues. So COPD is not a death sentence for a lot of people if you change your lifestyle. It's you can live up to your 90s with COPD if you cut back on the smoking and just change the way you eat and stuff. And you don't have other medical conditions. But COPD is a terminal disease. It's mainly a smoker's disease. It's very rare that you'll find someone who has the genetics mutation for COPD. But it's not as tricky. It's not as tricky as you would anything else. I did want to put a presentation up for you guys. Let's see. So this is the PowerPoint I did for my mommy. for COPD Awareness Month. That is my mom. Beautiful mommy. So we're gonna just do the intro. We'll do a few slides. I'll give you like certain details about it, just to bring awareness to it. I'll show you pictures, more pictures of my mommy, and then we can go talk about something else. Okay. So the live is a tribute to my late mother, Regina Bailey Baldwin, who gained her wings at age 57. I will tell you about a woman who was a daughter, mother, grandmother, and a friend. She fought a long battle with COPD and other health conditions. She didn't lose the fight against COPD. She won the war because she fought to the very end. Even when her body told her to give up, she didn't give up. My mom had a very good fighting spirit. If most people of you know my mom, those who are watching, who are friends, who I know for a really long time, who have met my mom, she fought very hard, very long. And even when she was very tired, she continued to fight. Her biggest motivation, she always said, was her grandchildren. And most people doesn't know this. My mom did leave behind 16 grandkids. Between my older sister, my older brothers, and myself, we all have multiple children. Um, with
I want some like that.
this,
This. If you give me that, I will give you these.
Why you was blackmailing me? Want this?
Yeah, if you give me that, I will give you these. You only get me one.
All right, sorry. Okay, we got this kid over here blackmailing me, you guys.
You can have them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my mom had there was a lot of grandkids. A lot of them, besides my older niece who was 18, a lot of them do fall into the footstep category. They're all between a year. Some are born in the same year and a half, 2 years apart. Stormy, which is my youngest, was my mom's last grandkid. She was born during the pandemic. She is the youngest out the bunch. My mom died almost a year after I had my last kid. So you'll have my niece Amira, she's 18. Then it's my oldest, Isaiah, he's 12. Then I have a niece, my brother Ronald's daughter, who's born the same year, named Michaela. She's also 12. Then it's Messiah. Then it's my brother Jamel's daughter, Faith, 2014. Then it's Noah and Zaire in 2015. In between that time, I think my other brother Ronald had kids. I can't tell you exactly what their ages are, but I know they're like in the borderline between 2012 until 2000, I say 17, 18. With his kids, there's Michaela, who's the oldest, the twins, Ronald and Miracle, Regina. Then it's Royal and Royalty. So those are 5 kids. Michaela is by his first baby mother. And then the other ones are by his current wife. Then it comes my daughter and my nephew, who were born in the same year, Zamira and Namik. They're born in the same year. Then I would say was my niece Royalty, which is my brother's Jamel's last kid. I believe she's the oldest out of the royalties because there's two. Like I said, there's two of them. So she's the first royalty. Then there's my other niece royalty. And then there's my niece goddess. And then along the line comes Stormy, which is the last one. She's the baby out the gang. But they're all footsteps, like I said. They're all between the ages of 12 and 4. Mine is my niece Amira, who's 18. Then my sister had another kid before my niece, who's Kalia. She'll be 19 if she was live. So those two are the oldest out the bunch, but those two are back to back too. But the other ones range from 12 to 4. Um, my mom had jokes. She likes tamales, not the pill, the cast and cream drink. That was her favorite thing. She drink. She also liked fried chicken. She also liked the color purple. Um, and the funny thing is, my mom was 33 when she had me. My mom was 33 years apart from each other. So that's why our birthdays always will fall on the same day. And that's why our numbers are always the same. So my mom will be 61. I'm currently 31. So my mom turned out to be my best friend. Even though we bumped heads a lot, that was my go-to person for everything. But to get to know her was to love her. She had her flaws. I would say that she was a better grandmother than a parent sometimes. But grandmother was top tier. She loved all her grandbabies, even the ones that she couldn't even see full time. She loved each and every last one of them. So for most people that don't know what COPD stands for, it's a chronic obstruction pulmonary disease. Affects the lungs. Comes in a long line of bronchitis, like asthma, any other lung issues. These are certain key facts. So you have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is COPD, is the fourth leading cause of death worldwide, causing 3.5 million deaths in 2021, approximately 5% of all global deaths. Which is crazy because my mom died in 2021, which is crazy that they had the most deaths that year due to this. Nearly 90% of COPD death is those under 70 years of age, occurred in lower middle income countries. COPD is the eighth leading cause of poor health worldwide, measured by disability adjusted life years. It's a smoker's disease, so most people that have COPD, they smoke, or you can get it from secondhand smoking. Tobacco smoking accounts for 70% of COPD cases in high income countries. So these are the symptoms. The most common symptoms of COPD are difficult breathing, chronic cough, sometimes with plague, and feeling tired. So then you have anything from lung infections like the flu or pneumonia, lung cancer, heart problems, weak muscles and brittle bones, depression, and anxiety. So like I said, mom had lung cancer and brain cancer. So she had two types of cancers. But smoking was her thing. She smoked she started smoking at 14. So she smoked for a really long time. And she felt like if she stopped smoking, she was going to die. That's why she continued to smoke. That was her favorite thing to say when we told her to stop smoking. But my mom did try to cut back in the very end. But smoking at the very end, okay, let's blow it up a little bit because I'm a little blind and I don't got my glasses on. But this slide is, I'll tell you exactly what this slide is as soon as I get this cursor to work. This one is causes. Several processes can cause the airway to become narrow and lead to COPD. There may be destruction of parts of the lungs, mucus blocking the airway, inflammation, and swelling of the airway lining. So tobacco, does like things that um so like I said, they always say tobacco is the number one cause. Then you have occupation, that anything that exposes you to dust, fumes, or chemicals, um, air pollution, early life such as pro-growth in the utero, which means in the stomach, like even like there's a rare genetic condition called alpha one, which can cause COPD at a young age. So these are the causes. These are the stages of COPD. So it doesn't, like I said, does not start off severe. Severe is not to stage 4, which becomes terminal. So my mom went through every stage um, of COPD, and I've seen the worst of it. And I tell people all the time that it's not fun watching someone that you love suffocate day in and day out. Um, Even from when I was younger, my mom's seizures, her in and out the hospital, her strokes. In the end, my mom literally had little to no feeling on the right side of her body due to the stroke that she had. Um, she became wheelchair bound. All they could do is just make you comfortable when you get to the end stages of COPD. And that was where she was at. She was just kept comfortable in hospice. She And there were times when even the oxygen wasn't helping too much, where they had to increase her oxygen level and give her several pain medications on top of her seizure medication, on top of the asthma medication. My mom was on a lot of medication at the end. And when going through the hospice care with her, they always tell us to watch out for the death signs, because that's how you know when a person's at the end. And I would say it would be her talking about seeing my brother Terrell, which was her third child that died in the 80s at I think he was like a month. And then her talking about my brother Jamel, who died in 2018 due to asthma complications. Um, it was just like the little stuff, like even when the day she went into hospice the final time, it was her not being aware of what was going on around her. She couldn't tell you the day, the time, who was the president, like little things that they tell you to look out for, which are called the death signs. I would say that even though mentally you prepare yourself, because this is your parent, and you know that there's going to be a time when, they're not here. But at the time that she went to the hospice, me and my sister house went on lockdown because we was in COVID. My sister had COVID really bad. My son came back positive for COVID, even though he didn't have the symptoms, which caused me and the girls to go lock down for COVID. Um, my daughter's dad had COVID really bad, so he was in the hospital fighting with COVID. So in this moment, my little brother's the only one that can go to my mom. They're in contact with him because me and my sister are just not able to do it. So give me a second. Let's see. It was more of, just like, okay, she gonna come home. We got this. Like, that's like usually the go-to other method of my mom. But for this time when she went in, I knew she wasn't coming home. Um, it was the phone calls. My brother keeping us updated. Um, and like when they tell you get paid for a baby, like you're starting nesting. It's the same process when death is about to occur. You just start nesting, and I think 2 days prior to my mom passing, I was cleaning out the house. Just throwing stuff away because there was a lot of clutter. Um, in the house. Stuff was just like, oh, it just became too much. Um, Stormy at this time was maybe like 9 months, 9.5 months, going on 10. So it wasn't even. No, she wasn't. Let's see. No, she was 10 months because her birthday is in March. So yeah, she was 10.5 months at this time. She wasn't even 11 months when my mom passed away. She wasn't even 1. My mom was just planning Stormy's first birthday. But just seeing her day in and day out of her at the end stages of how much weight she lost and her being wheelchair bound. She couldn't, like, even if she went outside for air, she like literally couldn't be outside for too long. They got that bad with her oxygen. Um, these are the risk factors for COPD. So you have a history of childhood respiratory infections, smoke exposure from coal or wood burning stoves, exposure to secondhand smoke, people with history of asthma, people who have undeveloped lungs, those who are age 40 and older as lung function decline as you age. Um, but it was it was hard because it's like you want your parents to live forever, but they're not always going to live forever. It's just not the realistic ideal situation of what's happening and what's going on. Um, but yeah, it went from telling us that maybe she had maybe a month or two left. Maybe it was went from that to her having a couple of weeks to live to her now down to the wire. Um, then it was days. Um, so her health declined rapidly, really fast. But I feel like her health took a turn when my brother passed away. My brother Jamel. Um, she wasn't the same. It's like a little chart. That's my mom. She didn't like taking pictures. She didn't. But the little pictures I do have of my mom, I have other pictures. Uh, but these were the best ones. The one in the middle, I have another one with me in the picture with her. But that is the legend. Um, this is the picture that's on her obituary. It's a younger version of her. My mom was pretty in real life. Like, even when she got sick, she was still that bitch. Like, she was that bitch. Um, she one in the con spirit, like, definitely owned it. Definitely on tough flaws. Um, Definitely a queen. Not just because her name means queen, but my mom definitely was a queen, and she owned it. Um, Best grandmother in the world to all her grandkids. Can't tell her nothing about her grandkids. Can't tell her shit. She gonna step, even with her oxygen cord. So, um, COPD is like it's a disease that should never be taken lightly. Uh, I wouldn't wish COPD on my worst enemy just because I've seen what it looks like. Thank you. It's to see it go from mild to very severe. Um, I feel like with all her medical conditions, even if she would have stopped smoking, it's it wouldn't have changed anything because she had too many medical conditions. She had the seizures. She still had the asthma. Like there was a lot going on. She had strokes. So there were just too much factors in there at play. Um, but I am very, very grateful for the time. Um, I itching. I gotta start wearing my glasses that day. I am grateful for the time that I did have my mom for 27 years. I'm grateful that she got to see me have children. It's so funny because my mom sat in the room with me with my first two kids. Like she was the first person to hold my kids, my boys, when they came out. So I'm glad that she got there to do that. Even when I had my first daughter, Zamira, she came down from Connecticut to hold my first daughter to meet her. I would say Zamira is the it's Amira, Michaela, Faith. I would say the fourth granddaughter. Don't quote me on that because too many goddamn kids to keep track. But I believe she's the fourth granddaughter. No. Yes. Hold on, give me a second. Whatever number granddaughter she is, just know that she in the rank amongst the girls. Um, Isaiah and Messiah were the first grandsons to lead off the charge, lead off the pack. Um, she was here when I brought Stormy home. When I brought her home from the hospital, she was here. Her and Stormy were best friends. Like, if Stormy wasn't with me, she was with her grandmother because they were very close during that time. Like, Stormy is with me. People's like, oh, babies don't know when death occurs. Stormy knew something was different because, yeah, Stormy. Just give me a second, okay? Her and Stormy, huh? All right, I'm coming. Relax. Her and Stormy were like literally best friends. Like she changed the diapers, she fed her. Like her and Stormy took naps together. Um, like she was the same with all her grandkids, but for some reason her and Stormy were like the tightest out the bunch. Like they were tight. Stormy knew um that something was different, and the first night without my mom, Stormy just laid in her bed, laid on her pillow. Um, But I always tell my kids about their grandmother. Make sure that um, that they know what type of woman she was, what type of mother she was, what type of grandmother she was. I got my mom's ashes. Um, some people ask me like, and I told people like, "Oh, my mom is in my house." People like, "What?" I'm like, "My mom ashes. Like I got her ashes. Like they're in my house on my table." And people think it's weird, but I'm like, "Well, she's supposed to go." um, but during the time, cremation is not cheap either, guys. Y'all be thinking cremation is cheap. I was just very first in your backyard at this point. Like, just start a whole cemetery for your family in the backyard because funerals are not cheap. And to do a funeral in 2.5 years after you just cremated my older brother was the most horrible thing ever. Because with respiratory issues, there's no life insurance policy. Because it's hard to find a life insurance policy that will cover a person with respiratory issues, especially like asthma or anything like that. Because asthma, you can literally choke on something and have an asthma attack and die. So, no, it's not easy because it's a risky type of medical condition to have. You're gambling at all costs. But even with her fight with COPD, um, it was tricky. I slowly started to go downhill. Um, think the year my brother died, like her health just went like. We came out to New York. Um, in 2019, and we was only down in New York. I wouldn't even say 2 4 years. Like my mom died literally almost 2 years after we moved back down to New York. Um, but I think for the time that he did give me and my siblings with my mom, I think I love for the time that we had with her. Now, wish she was still here. Man, listen, it gets boring in the house when you're dealing with children all day. Then they want to do is talk about Roblox and you want to have an adult conversation. Um, my mom loves my antics. She's down for whatever. Had my back through whatever. Um, Even if she didn't agree with my life decisions, she still supported. Um, Very supportive of everything, even though sometimes she didn't agree. With everything that was going on or everything that we did. But she didn't care. We were her kids. Um, but I think I'll for giving her the peace that she deserved. Um, I have my tattoo. I don't know, like it's really hard to see, but this was my second tattoo after um my mom died. It's my brother and my mom. The year that my brother was born, the year that he died. My mom, the year that she was born, the year that she died. Um, and then to complete the tattoo, I put a dove, and it says your wings were ready, but my heart was not. Um, no matter how, like my brother's death was a sudden, like it was really sudden. Like nobody expected my brother to die at 26. Cause 2 months prior to his death, he had just welcomed his fourth kid, royalty, my niece. And then 2 months later, my brother will be gone. So my brother had bad asthma. But when I could tell you that he was a fighter like my mom, he was a fighter like my mom. I didn't see my brother at his worst when it comes down to his asthma. Um, I think my brother was able to have children. He did leave behind a legacy. Um, my brother was talented, very multi-talented young man. Asthma was the end result of his death. Um, two souls reunited in the long run. Uh, but her losing my brother wasn't easy because that was her rainbow baby. You know, my mom buried one child in the 80s. My brother Jamal came 7 years after that. That was her rainbow baby. That was her miracle child. Um, Anything and everything will cause lung cancer. Anything would it can result into COPD. And it's something you just don't want to trifle with. It's not easy to live with. It's not easy to deal with. I wouldn't say it was a burden, but it was hard taking care of my mom and watching her suffer because there's nothing I can do when she got to the end. It's she tried to keep hope and joy even when she was down to not be able to do so much anymore, like cook and stand up for a long period of time. That was her thing. She liked to cook her salmon patties and her fried chicken and her turkey necks. Like my mom liked to cook, and it took her two little things away from her, like that she couldn't do anymore. And to watch that, it was hard. Uh, but I continue to give her flowers no matter what, give her cards no matter what, and tell her that she's beautiful regardless. Um, that's what I tell people. Don't wait till die to give them their flowers. Like I gave my mom flowers whenever. I gave her cards whenever, because I knew that our time was limited. Um, that is a lie about my mom. Um, okay, let's talk about something else, guys. Okay, so I did publish my book. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Amazon. I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. So this is my book. It comes in paperback and hardcover. Paperback is $35, hardcover is $40. Because it's in color and because this one is a little different from my last book, This one has pictures in it. So this is the back. This is the front. This is the paperback version of the book. This is the hardcover version of the book. The front of the book. I know who's like, oh, you're conceited. I'm not conceited. Don't be hating. Okay. This is the back of the book. It's lavender. This one has pictures in it. It's pictures of there's a picture of me, pictures of my kids when they were babies, picture of my brother, picture of my mom. So it's in color. The book is in color. That's why it is way more expensive to print the book than the other versions of other books that I have written. But definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. You know, support the young author and whatnot. This post-election bullshit is dumb. Like, I'm tired of seeing Trump talking. Trump need to shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a fuck about you, Trump. But the stuff that he's been saying is irritating the fuck out of me. I don't get how you people voted for him. Like, I don't understand for life of me how the fuck do you vote for somebody like this. Like, I seen his policy. The shit that he's talking about, I don't agree with. Like, I don't understand. Like, how did we get here? How did we get here? I feel like we got here because people are still scared. They're still sexist. That's one. My one might say that they wasn't going to let her win. They was never going to let her win. That's just what it is. They feel like one black person in a lifetime is good for y'all. If y'all to do the same thing y'all did to Obama to her, it's ridiculous. Like, RC was saying that she can go back to being Indian. Both of her parents are two different nationalities, Indian and Jamaican. She's still a minority. Whether you like it or not, she's still a black woman. So stop saying ignorant shit. Like, I did the same thing to Obama because apparently he's half white. He's still a brown man. His daddy's still from Africa. He's still a black man. Like, y'all did everything y'all tried to do to tear this woman down, who is more qualified than Trump to run the country. She's worked in all three branches already. Trump has never did anything in his life but file for bankruptcy and rape children and grope women and all types of extra bullshit that he should not have been doing. And people can be so dumb. So just like how Hawaii is technically an island, like Alaska is technically an island by itself, they're still considered the states. So when I say 51 states, because Puerto Rico is technically a U.S. territory, it's technically being taken care of by the United States, it is technically a fucking state. Whether it's legally a state or not, it's still a state. It's an island. Just like Hawaii, just like Alaska, they're all islands. But because they all are run by the president of the United States, they're still a state. Only thing different with Puerto Rico is not legally recognized as a state, but it is part of the U.S. territory. We're technically responsible for it. So once they legalize and make it a state, it's technically the 51 state, even though it's an island, just like Hawaii. If Hawaii can recognize as a state, why can't Puerto Rico, right? Same bullshit. Same thing with Alaska. Like, but I done seen people post his stance on abortions. I done seen his stance on immigration. I done heard about taxes. I done heard about the climate. I done heard about education. I done talked about foreign affairs. Like, you guys have to understand this, right? His policies are fucked up. Like, I feel like if our world leaders and our allies are worried about what he's capable of doing now that he has the White House again and he has the House, Senate, and Congress backing his ass up and everything that he has. The Republicans have took everything. They took every fucking thing. We don't stand a chance because he has 3 Supreme Court judges that he appointed in his last term before Biden took over, and we're royally fucking screwed. Like, what furthermore do y'all think that is okay? They're already trying to rewrite African American history. They don't want to talk about slavery. They feel like it's not important. It don't fit the status quo because white people tired of talking about it, right? No. You have to stand on the fucking history of this country. And I'm sorry to say this, but slavery is a part of the fucking country. If you didn't like it too fucking much, then why go? Why tell your ancestors to go out there and enslave black people then? If you guys didn't want to acknowledge the history, the 400-year plus of it, the oppression of black people still having going on today. Like, if you didn't want to talk about why you do it? Like, why do it then? Their women are not having babies the way they should be having babies, or they're having kids, but they're mixing their blood. And they don't want that. They don't want the blood mixed. Well, the fortune's already been mixed during slavery. The slave masters used to fuck the slaves. The little house nigga babies they be having, that's where it come from. Because no slave in American history will be that's in the field will have light fucking kids. Kids look like the master. Don't look like the white nigga over there. You got the field niggas, you got the house niggas. The house niggas were the light-skinned niggas that stayed in the house. The field niggas ones that went out the field to pick the crimes. And then I'm seeing racist fucking tweets of people texting African American about crime picking. Like, what the fuck is going on with you people? Like, you people are this weird. Y'all weird. And then I see on Texas University how you're saying homosex is a sin. We have no right to judge anybody. We're not God. God is the only person that can judge us at the end of all of this. Allah is the only one that can judge us at all of this. I don't care what the Bible says. I don't care what the Quran says. You have no right to judge nobody. No right to judge anybody. And for the fucking asshole that think women are property, we're not fucking property. You do not own us. Well, you don't own me because I ain't no pick me bitch. You got some pick me bitches out there that will do what you say. But me, I ain't gonna do no nigga say. That's not the way I was raised. That's the way I was taught. Okay? I ain't no pick me. So, no. The ones that like to be called property and shit like that, that's on them. Stay over there to the left side. People like me, women like me, who ain't pick me's, we're not property. You don't get to choose and say what we do with our bodies. I don't care what the law says. Last time I checked, it's my body. This is my vagina, my choice. If I want to go out there and fuck Tom, Dick, and Harry, I'm going to go out there and fuck Tom, Dick, and Harry. I want to go have 10, 6, 7, 18 abortions. That's my motherfucking business. That you got nothing to do with that. Nah, damn thing. I don't give a fuck if you are the daddy. Fuck you in your life. If I know I'm not ready to have no goddamn baby, I ain't gonna force myself to have a fucking baby. I got 4. That's currently right now. It's enough. Okay. That's currently enough. Like, what about the women who are being raped? Incest. Ones who babies are dying in the womb and won't live a couple of hours. Ones whose lives are on the line. Like, why are there no exceptions for this quote-unquote abortion ban? Like, why are these doctors being threatened with jail time? Why women who are having miscarriages being threatened with jail time? Like, why? Why is our reproductive health on the line? That is not fair. Why is our kids' educational is on the line? Like, why? Like he said, he had cut federal funding from schools that teaches about race and gender. Why? Transgender rights, sexual misconduct. That means if a student is raped or sexually assaulted on school grounds, The school can do as they please with that and handle it how they see fit. Bad enough on a lot of campuses when girls get sexually assaulted or get raped, the school does nothing. A lot of schools have to sweep it on the rug like it never happened. And that's not fair to the victims. That's not fair to the victims. It's not right and it's not okay. And it's sad to see that Trump's victims are not being heard. They're not being seen. And it's sad because there are people out there that's been affected by this man who has done some nasty things to people. And it's not fair. It's not fair that he's not being held accountable. Why? Because of the color of his skin. That's why. Everything is a race thing in this country. And until people start admitting that, we're never going to go nowhere. Everything's a race thing. I done read news articles of black men and white men who have committed the same crime, but they don't get the same punishment. Like, I read one article for one of my coaches' classes a while back. These two men, both raped a 1-year-old child, right? One was black and one was white. The black man got life in jail when the white man got off. But why? When they equally committed the same crime. How is that even remotely fair? There's like a lot of states where as soon as Becky cried rape and it's a black man, he's automatically guilty. Nah, Becky liked that black penis. She was hopping on it, sucking on it, licking on it, all that. And the moment he rejected her, the moment that she wanted to cry out rape. Seen way too much. I was tired of these motherfuckers lying and getting away with it. It's not fair. That one little lie cost Emmett Till his life. Him whistling at a white woman cost him his life. And it was a lie. All because Becky with the good hair was lying. Trump win is not a win for American people. It's not okay. And even when I said, like, people who voted for him, you voted against human rights, equality, racism. You decided to let a racist, homophobic, Islamophobia, transphobia, and misogynist behavior be acceptable. And it's not. It's not. And not only am I a minority woman, I'm a minority woman who's also Muslim. And it's scary. It's scary. The first time, I get the stares and stuff. Like the first time, I think like a couple years back, walking to the bus stop. I think it was in 2022, yeah, because I was doing EMT classes at this time. So EMT classes, and this lady who was African American decided to throw iced coffee on me and call me all types of names. We're gonna call it Islamic phobia. You know, you got anti-Semitic because you talking about the Jews. We're talking about Muslims. Islamic phobia. I got called everything under the bus, including the terrorists. And I was born and raised in New York. Not saying that Muslims that come over are terrorists. I'm just saying I have never witnessed in my life have anybody assaulted me with anything because of my religious beliefs. And it just takes you back to post 9/11 when Muslims were being targeted because of Al Qaeda and ISIS, and they put us all under the microscope of we're all terrorists, and that's never the case, and that's not okay to think that we're all terrorists because that's not the truth. You can't blame us for what a few people believe to take the Quran to propagate their bullshit. That's like when Christians and Catholics and Jews, um, same thing. It's never okay to weaponize religion. It's never okay to take the words that come out the Quran, the Bible, the Torah, and weaponize it and flip it and turn it to something that is not meant to be or was set to fit your agenda. Um, Everybody has a right to love who they want to love. Everyone has a right to feel how they feel, to be who they want to be. Um, I stand with the LGBTI plus community. I pray for those who love who they want to love and who are with their significant other, or those who are transitioning to be either male or female. I pray the next 4 years I send out my love, light, and guidance with Allah and hope that this does not turn into a ship show, but I know it's going to a ship show. To those immigrants who are married to U.S. citizens, I pray for you. I pray for your children. For the immigrants that come here seeking asylum and seeking a better life, I pray for you and I pray for your children. The system's already automatically overrun in foster care with too many children as there is. And to have the fear that ICE is going to come kicking down your door and drag you away from your children, it has to scare you guys. And I pray for you because you guys don't deserve it. Um, to the Muslims who are on edge by the things that were said, Allah will always guide us. Allah will always be in our corner. He's the most merciful. For the disabled that Donald Trump has mocked and disrespected and made fun of, I pray and I will continue to pray that the light guide us through these next 4 years. For the women who were taking advantage by this man, I see you. No woman should feel powerless. No one should have to watch the abuser become president again. And to the states that flip from blue to red, I see you, and I hope Trump destroys you people. Like, I hope you get everything that's coming to you. And I'm not a mean-spirited person, but y'all deserve it. For the states that stood 10 toes down and stayed blue, thank you. I pray the next 4 years are not tough and not hard to get through. The only thing you can do is pray and hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Because under Trump administration, it's going to be horrible. Like, post-election has to be the most scariest thing ever because, you see the racism already all year long. You see it. Like, you see the racism and whatnot. Um, but now it's like scary because these Trump supporters are wild out motherfuckers. Like, they're capable of doing any and everything they want and say and do. Even when the little time that Kamala had to run for president, her campaign was effortlessly run. She gave brown and black girls hope. A lot of the black women that sit on these seats, they give our little girls hope that they can be anything and they can shoot for the stars. And watching not only a woman, but a black woman become VP, she shattered Glassland right then and there. We shattered it wide open with her becoming Madam President, her being our first president. She's, in my heart, will always be Madam Vice President, President Kamala Harris. Like, she will always be that. But she gave our little girls hope that they can do any and everything they want in life. Shoot for the stars. One day there will be a black woman to sit in that seat. One day. But definitely check out my book. It's on Amazon. Have a good night. It's my fingers, you guys.